What's up, guys? This is Jax, and I'm hanging out with Rob at Front Row Live. Pew pew.
With all the snow that goes on back at home, are you an avid snowboarder or skier at least? Do you take advantage?
Oh yeah. I mean, I snowboard, but I'm bad at it. So whenever I do, but I'm a good skier. I love ever since I was a little girl, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I just would fly down like Black Diamond. My parents are so stressed out all the time. So, yeah.
They're the ones that I'm always trying to film, just in case. Yeah. So let's jump into the new single that recently dropped, actually at the top of the year, La La Land. Yes. Why did you feel this song was the best choice for your first single to the world?
Well, I would tell people that it was more for like selfish reasons, like for myself. I mean, it was really, it's important to me to share my truth and my honesty with the fans and where my head is at, and kind of just give like some reality to it, not to be weird about it, but for myself, really, it was closure for me. I think I needed to say what I needed to say, let it out, write about it, and then close the chapter and move on to the next one, because this was such a big part of my life and a huge year. It's not really a smooth transition always into like the next step, you know. So it really helped me move on, and it really it was therapeutic for me, I think. So
with the taste of that song, is that something that we can maybe expect for music from you? Like, is that the style that you're looking to do, or are you still trying to find your sound?
I'm kind of always all over the place, but yeah, I love that kind of just came from scratch. We didn't even know where we were going with it in the studio, and I wrote it in my basement, just like wrote out the chords, wrote the lyrics, and I brought it into like my friend, and he was just like, yeah, well, let's just sit here and just like play with sounds and mess with it. And yeah, we kind of just came up with that. So I think it's a cool sound. I'm definitely going to make pop music with like an edge. So yeah.
So one thing that I find interesting now, after we talked right before this interview, was that you kind of come back from this, you come into the music industry from the same scene that I come from, which is the Warped Tour scene, the punk rock scene. So how did you really transition from the punk rock scene to the pop world now?
Oh my gosh, so many years. I never went to school. I grew up on it. I can't believe we probably ran into each other. We don't know.
Sure, I know already like worked together so many times.
Honestly, we both did like Warped and Bamboozle, and it's really cool. I was really young. I used to be like in bands and like the youngest bands to play certain competitions, and I mean, I grew up on music. I was pretty much in it like professionally since I was like 11, and it's nonstop. My parents were always really supportive, so I was hopping from project to project. More experiences, more learning, record labels, just the whole thing, you know. So it was weird going into the TV world this year. Definitely different. Like, you feel like you kind of experienced everything once you like kind of go through it in music. I know I'm kind of like stupid young to be saying that, but
no, but I personally, I feel artists that go through Warped Tour, especially at a young age, they've experienced so much. Like, they've experienced more than what they would experience in the pop world.
Yeah, Warped Tour is really fun. I did that. Asbury was one of that was a really crazy one, because I used to play at the Stone Pony when I was really, really young, like 10 or 11. My first gig was at the Stone Pony. I was just like, there's probably pictures of it that are humiliating online, but I dyed my hair like with fake dye purple and like ripped up my jeans and wrote all over them. I had no idea what rock and roll was, but I loved Janis Joplin, so I went for it.
That's crazy, because I mean, myself as a host, you know, if you look up all of my Warped Tour interviews, I had the grunge hair, or the long skater grunge hair, the look. So it's crazy, like how much it changes you.
I went into that. That was a total phase of mine. You were probably my type. We probably dated.
Dude, what the heck? We go way back right here. With all these different experiences, how different was the experience that you did, like Warped Tour, for example, touring on Warped Tour or touring with a punk band, as it is touring now? Is it more rigorous on one than the other?
Well, I didn't really do the tour. I just did a couple of gigs, dates, Bamboozle, Warped Tour, that kind of thing when I was really young. And I think that the Idol tour after the show was kind of the most official tour I've been on. I've like been on feature tours, like I've done like the Camp Rock stuff. Remember, like crazy. It was like the Kesha LMFAO things, just like opening for the opening band, that kind of thing. Being in tour buses where like it was either air conditioning or a flat iron. We could only use the plug for one thing. It was just, not really an efficient tour bus situation, but this was like I got to be with my best friends, and it's not like glamorous, but it was awesome to be with that family on a bus and experience all those cities around the country, and like just off the stage, all the experience. It's probably the best part of the tour for me. It was grueling, but in the best way.
Jax kind of made me put these on right now because my eye started crying because the sun's in my eye.
I was like, he's way too emotional right now.
This was serious. Like, we go way back, guys.
Hey, calm down.
All right, back to this.
I love all music.
Yeah.
I go from like show tunes to heavy metal.
You pretty much touch everything. I don't know if you're familiar with Demi Lovato. She's a metalhead.
Super familiar with Demi
Like,
Lovato.
she's a metalhead. Like, we've had a conversation on how she's been at metal shows before, and it's like, it's nuts because a lot of these artists are the ones that are growing in the pop world, and if they're not the artists themselves, they're behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have no idea sometimes what they're into.
Exactly.
I feel like for me, Demi's always been this like awesome, confident badass.
Right.
Even in her Disney days, she just had something cool and dark about her. I'm a huge Demi fan. She rocks. I was always a Demi fan. And she has a song called La La Land too, and I didn't like put two and two together until people were like, La La Land, like Demi Lovato, and I was like, oh man, did I do that? I loved that song too. I mean, like, I forgot that was a thing, but she rocks. She's so talented and like raw talented. It's hard to find that, you know?
Right. That's crazy. And as far as like music, or as far as like touring or even live shows, do you have any plans on doing any performances anytime soon? Like, what is in the books for you?
I mean, hopefully there's some East Coast stuff coming up because I really do want to get back to my hometown city.
Right.
Like, I want to perform in Manhattan, but mostly I've been just in the studio writing nonstop and trying to get kind of a solid production together for myself, you know, and a solid vision. But yeah, I don't think I could survive without performing because I'm more comfortable on a stage than I am like alone in my room. So yeah, I'm sure this year I'll be performing and releasing new music and just working my butt off as usual, always.
You're mentioning writing new material, but you did also mention before that you wrote like 2 albums worth of music?
Like in the past?
Yeah.
I've written like the world nonstop from different genres, different artist development type things, always.
So is it easy to just scratch that and start fresh, or is it? I mean, do those songs actually end up seeing the light of day?
I think when you move on from a project, not always. I think when you move on from a certain project, it's easier to start fresh emotionally. Right. Because like you get very attached to people and relationships build and things like, and moving on from that is not always the easiest thing. But I think that a lot of old music, I look back and I'm like, I wish I was just doing that now. Right. But then you're like, that's another chapter, and it's nice to start with a clean slate and. Because I'm a different person than I was before. Of course. And I mean, whether the music was good or not, the material, I just want to be real with the fans and who I am as an artist after I kind of grew up a little from that. Yeah. And
outside of the music, we were talking as well earlier today how you run and go hike. Yeah. How you run and go on hikes. How important is that for you and your lifestyle? Because you sounded like you were stressed and you needed that to come back to life.
I need a hike. Yeah. It's like cathartic for me. I love yoga. I love to run. I was always like the kid in school that wanted to like beat all the boys in a race when I was like really little. I love to run, love, and I love to working out. Just really helps me. Right. I feel like if I didn't work out and I was stressed all the time, I would just not stop eating like Taco Bell all day long, and it would be bad. So, yeah, it helps me with this crazy hectic music, LA, New York scene. Yeah. So.
Now, as far as the running goes, are you an avid runner where you actually do events like marathons and races, or is it just something you do to pass the time?
I wish. Recently I did a show for Steven Siller, who's like, it's a charity event, and there was like a fire department, like amputee type thing, and everybody was running, and it was a big Manhattan thing, and they were like, sorry, you have a sound check, you can't participate. And I was like, such a tease. Ugh, music. No, it's okay. I quit. I just want to run. I've never done any real like event. I want to do. It's on my bucket list to do like the New York Marathon. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah.
I'm hoping I can do that this year.
Want to do it together?
Let's do it.
Are you going to train?
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm training for LA Marathon in 2 weeks.
That's in 2 weeks. You think
that'll be my first full marathon?
I'll do it.
Are you serious? In 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yikes! 26.2 miles. 2 weeks.
Oh. Yeah, sounds doable.
Let's do it.
They say, like, if you can run 10 miles, then you're good after that.
Well, I'll tell you after I finish the race.
Are you gonna finish the whole thing?
I hope. I better finish the race.
Wow, you're cool. I thought I was cooler than you. I thought I can run faster, and then now probably not.
Oh, man. Well, now that we know all this, I wish we would have known a little earlier, so then we would have gone on these hikes and runs together. Like I said, I was supposed to hike this morning. I might have to do it later today.
You might kick my butt. You might be able to beat me.
Next interview will be on the trails.
No, I never win anything.
So we start training now for a New York Marathon, and then the next time I see you, we'll be trained, and then we can do some like easy trail run. We'll go to Runyon or something.
Oh, I just did. Did I just do that yesterday? I don't know. I did a hike yesterday. It was like more like a walk. Me and Dee Dee over there.
It was probably Runyon.
We did a hike, and we almost died. Well, sort of. We fell a couple of times on our butts. Man. We when we were going up a dangerous part.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize when it was going to stop, and it seemed like maybe it's never going to stop. And I had a J14 interview right after, and I was like, I have to be down in an hour. Oh, no. I have to put clothes on.
Oh, you really pushed the limit.
Oh, and we were like, so at what point do we go back? We can't go back now. It's like that angle. We would have died. So we kept pushing. We took the risk.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because we're professional.
Oh man. See, yeah. Those are the best adventures though. When it starts as a run or a hike and it ends up.
Great story.
Right.
Jax totally falls and breaks her butt.
Jax is intense, guys. That's why you should check her out. Lastly, what else can we expect for the remainder? Well, the start of the year, because I can't say the remainder. It's too soon.
Dude, I'm hitting the gym every day. Not really, because I'm in the studio. All my friends.
That mic.
No, but oh yeah, that's too much for me. No, funny. All my friends are like, I'm at their level right now. Since we're all in the studio at the beginning of the year, we're like, we're gonna start, but then we just end up living on Doritos. So, the literal Dorito dust on my pants. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be in the studio making music, and I'm super close with the Jax Pack and the fans, so they all know where to find out what I'm doing all the time, and we're really close and honest with each other. So, sweet. Oh, dude, they're the coolest, weirdest, most beautiful family of all time. They all come to my gigs and stuff and my meet and greets and everything, and they stay at each other's houses from different parts of the country. They've met up, through social media.
That's the crazy fan base. That's insane.
That's how good I feel. So good. That's one of my best feelings. In Arizona, a whole team of people were talking for years, and then they finally met up through the show to come see me, and with the exes, and I was just like, oh my God. I just brought friends together. That's so cool.
You need to just do a spontaneous tour where you'll just be like, I'm going to Arizona today, guys.
Oh, yeah,
and
totally.
Then see who shows up, and
why Arizona?
I don't know.
I've never been to Wyoming.
Okay, let's go to Wyoming. Michigan. I don't know. What else?
I want to go to Hawaii.
Hawaii would sound good.
Sounds baller, yeah.
Another trail race there. Let's do that.
Yeah, totally. I'm in.
All right, let's do this.